Hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, I'm Denise.
And this is the Interdisciplinary Talks.
Today we are going to interview Mrs. Marina.
Hi.
Hi.
Miss Marina is an art teacher at Instituto Federal de Ciência e Tecnologia de Alagoas, right?
Yes, Campus Batalha.
Cool. We're very happy you're here, Marina, with us today.
I'm really happy too, and I really thank you for the invitation. And I'm sorry for my English, my terrible pronunciation.
You are so good, you don't imagine. Join us today, we have our students, okay? Leandro, Moisés e Diego.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so let's begin. You can start, Leandro.
When did you learn English?
Hi, Leandro. Thank you for the
Hi.
question. So, I started to study English when I was 10 in an English school. And then I studied until I was 17. So it was 7 years of studying. And when I was still a teenager, young girl, so I think this really helped me because I learned early. And I think this gets easier, you know, when you get to learn earlier. I think it's easier to learn the language and be comfortable, even if you don't talk really right. Like today, right now, it's been a long time I don't speak English, and I haven't practiced anything to come here. So I just came, and I'm trying to remember now how to speak. But I think this is the reality. That's why I didn't practice before, because I'm a common person who knows how to speak English, and I use the language in my real life when I need it. So on purpose, I haven't prepared my English to be here, you know, because when I have a trip or when I have a congress, when I have something, I have to talk, to speak with the practice that I have in that moment. That's my reality, my speaking English reality. So
That's amazing, Marina. Thank you very much. That's amazing what you said, because people think that there is a perfect English, and this is not true. English is spoken everywhere in the world, and we speak with the influence of our language, of course, and it's okay. If you do the language, have access to information you need, if you can communicate, that's perfect. You don't need to have the perfect pronunciation. It doesn't even exist. Thank you very much.
So, Marina, Moisés also wants to ask you something. Your turn, Moisés, please.
Hi, Marina. So I would like to ask you, what did you come to know during your career through the English language?
So the English language has been really useful in my career since when I was a graduation student, since before that too, because when I was 12, I went to Disneyland, you know, just like all girls go when they are teenager. It was like my first trip abroad without my family, with an excursion. And it was really nice because I was only 12 years old. And when I get in Florida, I get to know, I realized that I could speak English. So I could communicate. I could order for my snacks. I could go in a store and talk to the people, get what I need, get informations. And the most of my colleagues that was even older than me couldn't do that. So I was like helping them, and this was the first time that I realized how English could be useful, and it was really nice. It's changed my relationship with the course also, because I didn't really like to study English, and I had to go to English class. But when I got back from the States, from this first trip, all changed. My relationship with English class changed, because I get to understand how it was useful. I realized that I could speak, and people could understand what I was saying. So it was really, really nice. Then in 2006, when I was in my graduation in the university, I did what they call work and travel exchanging program. So I spent 3 months again in Orlando, but this time I was as a worker. I went to work in the Universal Studios, this amazing theme park, just like Disney too. So I worked there for 3 months, and with the money that I received, I could pay for my rent and for travels and walking around and everything. So it was really nice experience. And also I had this through my English skills, because the work in Universal, it wasn't really easy to get. Like, we have interviews, trial, you know. So I could get this job because of my English skills, and had this amazing time there. Spent 3 months in this exchanging program, and then we could get in for free in all Universal parks, and the ones who was linked to them. And then we get some free tickets to the parks too that I could give to anyone, and we exchange with the Brazilians who are doing the same program in the Disney parks. So we went for free in the Disney parks too. It was really, really, really nice experience, and I could like go for free because I paid the trip with my work, and it was really nice. Then professionally, it was really important, the English skills, when in 2010, I did my master degree selection. And I don't know if you know, but every time you're gonna enter in a post-graduation program, you have to make an English test. This was really easy for me, because usually it's an easy test. They want to know if you can basically read it in English, because a lot of the bibliography, yes, a lot of the books, the reading that we must to do in the post-graduation, they are not in Portuguese. So the English, it's become something that it's not, it's fundamental, you know. Now, when you got in the post-graduation, it's not something that you should have. It's something that you must have. So it's a little bit different. And so I did this first English, they call proficiency. I don't know if that's the right word in English, to get to know if you have this level to read. And it was really easy because I already know how to speak in English. And during all my research, it's been really important get to read in English. There's a lot of material that are important material in all fields of knowledge that you don't have the books in Portuguese. So it's really, really important to get to read in English. And during my master degree, I had other extremely important experience that was what we call, how we say, Field research. All my field research of my master, I did in Europe. So I spent 3 months traveling to get to do this field research. And English was fundamental. I spent 1 month in a dance course in Berlin. So it was in Germany, but English was my only way to communicate. In this trip, I get to know 9 countries, and most of them wasn't English spoken countries, but in all of them, I communicate through English. This was my way to communicate. And I have opportunities to go to art festivals and museums and exhibitions, and all this through English.
Awesome. I think it's very interesting, Marina, that you were actually, when people go abroad, they always talk about the cultural experience, how they feel like, oh, I learned something, I learned another culture. And you talked about independence, like being 12 years old and then later being able to work at a young age later after on your second trip. But you know, this sense of being independent, like of helping the other adults, and that's very interesting. I thought it was really interesting. And the part that you say that when you enter a postgraduate school in Brazil, you need English. This is important for our students to understand that this is the language of science. So if you are an arts teacher or English teacher or chemistry or physics, it doesn't matter. So all the, 80% of all the articles that are published, like the scientific articles that are published worldwide, are written in English. So this is very interesting to hear that even in art, that's the same thing. So you had access to a lot of, you know, like you said, research through the English language. So this is very important for our students to comprehend that English is going to help them throughout their careers. Thank you very much. And Diego also wants to jump in and ask you a question, right, Diego? Go ahead.
Hi again. Marina, where did you hear people speak English among the countries you visited?
So, like I said, this trip in my master degree in 2010. So I spent 3 months traveling, and I got to know 9 countries in this trip. I will look here because I don't remember in the order. So I wrote here for me, don't get missed, just a minute. Here, so I went to
name students, right? Maybe you can share so they can see how it's written. And
yes, I will share. That's what I'm doing. Just a second, guys. I went to 9 countries. So I went to Germany, Scotland, Spain, France, Switzerland, Italy, Netherlands, England, and Israel. That is not in Europe. It wasn't in my previous program, but I had the opportunity to get to know it, so I went. And what's really good is that what Emily said, you know, the autonomy that English gives to you. Because in all this time, in all my trips, in all the journeys, in all the countries I have been, I never had afraid, you know, oh, I will get lost. I don't know what I will do. How can I how can I know where to go? Because as I speak the basics and I can understand the basics, I try, I talk, I ask. So it's a freedom, you know. You can go anywhere. You can see that the only country that I visit that's an English-spoken country, it's England. But in all the other ones, I spoke English and everyone could understand me and I could understand everyone. And so it was really, really good. And I think that's it. And it's really nice too, because when you are in a country that's not an English spoken, it's even easier to communicate, you know, because everyone speaks more or less like us, each one with their accents, you know, but they are not, it's not their born language, just as ours. So it's even easier than when you are in US or in England, that they already, it's their born language, you know, the English is their born language, so they speak faster. It's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit more difficult to understand. And in these other countries, it's even easier to communicate. And my recent experience, it was in last year, just before the pandemic crisis. In September, I went to Italy, but I went to present a paper in a congress. And this was also interesting because even though it was a congress in Italy, it was an international congress. So I wrote and I present my paper in English because I don't speak Italian. Of course, when I was there, I tried to speak Italian. I tried to communicate, but in the work time, I had to guarantee a certain quality of the presentation and of the written work. So I did all this in English.
That's very interesting what you said. English does not only gives you access to information research around the world, but it gives you access to people too. That's interesting what you're saying. Like I went to Spain, to France, to Switzerland, to Israel, and all those countries, and I spoke English to everybody. So I could communicate with everybody. So that's very interesting. So you don't even have to travel. Our students, you can talk to people from all over the world through, you know, social media, and you can connect and understand what people go through and their cultures and everything through the English language. So it's very cool too, that aspect that you brought to us today.
I have a comment, Amy.
Yes.
It's related to that I want to be like you, Marina. A lot. Yes. Because my dream is that it's travel abroad, know all this country that you already said to us, and that English brings to us that independence. You have the power to communicate with everyone, basically, and that idea that I bring to my class, because I tell my students that you have English. You have everything in your career. See, I don't know to pronounce that word, and that does not mean anything. Okay? Thank you.
You said something very important, people, and we're going to finish this interview with that. Language is power. English is power. Very good, Denise. Thank you very much for your comment. That's amazing. And that's what Marina had throughout her career and in her life, this sense of independence, this sense of connecting, and this sense of being empowered, right?
Yes, I think I feel like that. Since my graduation, I always try to align my travels and like a relaxing time to get to know other countries with the work, you know. I usually like to go abroad to do some course or a congress or a different visit to a museum. The last time I went to this congress in Bologna, I also went to the Biennale di Venezia. No, sorry, how you say the word in English, the city. I get here, the Venice, yes, Venice Biennale. That's the most important contemporary art event in the world. So it's really nice because it's even better because you don't only do tourism, you know, you get to know the city from other point of view, the point of who is working there, who is doing other things in the city, who is living there. When you do a course abroad, take a workshop or you go to study, you get to know other people and local people. So it's also another level of cultural experience that when you go only to tourism, you can't have,
Yes, very good point.
It was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. It was a pleasure to be here, listen about your English experience.
Thank you very much, Marina.
Thank you guys for the invitation, for the space. It was really nice to talk to you, to see you again. Even with this distance, we can get in touch through here. It was really nice, and I hope it's helpful for you. Had helped it. It was really useful.
Yes, it was amazing. Thank you very much for accepting to be here today to give us this interview. I think that everybody who's watching is very excited and is excited to learn some more English, right? Teacher Denise.
Marina, thank you. This is, to me, a huge experience. Listen to you about your experience in your field, and to me, that's my dream. And to me, if you watch me, I was like very cool to me. So thank you very much for that.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.